Good evening, dear listeners. Tonight, I invite you to journey with me to the mysterious and ancient streets of Edinburgh, Scotland. Picture yourself on a cold, fog-enshrouded evening where history and legend intertwine in the shadows. Our protagonist, a traveler with a keen sense of adventure, found himself meandering through the old town's cobbled streets. The historic buildings, aged and stoic, stood as silent witnesses to centuries past. As he walked, a creeping sense of unease began to take hold, a feeling as though unseen eyes were following his every step. He looked back repeatedly, finding nothing but the empty, mist-laden streets. The air grew colder, and a strange, otherworldly whisper seemed to float on the wind, a sound both beautiful and sorrowful. Compelled by an inexplicable curiosity, our traveler followed the haunting sound, leading him to a narrow, shadow-filled close. There, the whisper transformed into a melancholic melody, echoing off the ancient stone walls. It was as if the very soul of the old town was singing. In the heart of the close, amidst the swirling fog, appeared a spectral figure, a woman, ethereal and pale, her eyes reflecting a deep, unending sorrow. Her clothes, tattered and from another era, fluttered in the ghostly breeze as she sang a lament. Our traveler, taken aback by this otherworldly vision, watched as she tenderly caressed a small mound of stones, resembling a grave. The sorrow in her song was palpable, a melody of loss and longing. Overwhelmed by a mix of fear and compassion, he reached out, asking if she needed help. But as his words pierced the cold air, she vanished, like a wisp of smoke, leaving him alone in the close with only the echo of her song. The next day, our protagonist, still shaken by the encounter, learned from a local about the legend of a mother who, during a devastating plague, lost her child. Her spirit, they said, was doomed to wander the closes, forever singing lullabies to her child's unmarked grave. That evening, as he prepared to leave Edinburgh, the melody returned. This time, it was not in the distant closes, but within the walls of his own rented apartment. A cold, ghostly wind whispered through the room. There, on the table, lay a small, ancient-looking stone, identical to the ones at the gravesite in the close. How it came to be there, he could not explain. Listeners, as our traveler left Edinburgh, the haunting melody of the mourning mother followed him, lingering in his memories, a ghostly imprint of his encounter. Even now, as he tells his tale, he wonders if a part of him remains in the old town, forever entwined with the sorrowful echoes of the past. So, as we conclude this tale, I leave you with a question. What mysteries and spirits linger in the shadows of old cities? In the dense fog of Edinburgh's ancient streets, where history and the supernatural dance together, who can say what is real and what is merely a whisper in the wind? Good night, listeners, and remember, some stories are more than just tales, they are windows into the unknown.